Hi, this is Jude,
I'm Paul.
and we are talking about another advert that we've seen on Facebook. This time it's for a so-called robot puppy. So a few days ago, I did a video on this advert that I saw on Facebook, and we explained why we thought that this was a video that was mainly using AI
Yeah.
to generate images of something that doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist, yeah.
But this video on the so-called robot puppy, I don't think there's much AI being used
Or any, maybe.
in this one. Oh, there is some.
There is.
We said we do believe there's some. We'll get onto that later in the video.
But it just shows you, doesn't it? You don't need AI to make a false and deceitful advert.
No. What we think is going on in this video is that it's mainly using real puppies.
Yeah.
So we'll take the same approach in this video as we did in the last one. And what we'll do is look at each little bit of the video
Okay.
carefully to explain why this is definitely not video footage of a robotic puppy
Yeah.
and what we think it really is.
Yeah.
So this is the first short clip we're going to look at. So first of all, how do I know that this isn't a robotic dog?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would have to be, if it wasn't a real puppy, it would have to be an artist-made puppy.
Yeah.
And it would cost lots and lots of money.
Because it's very realistic looking. Yeah.
Yes, it would cost hundreds of dollars. Probably like, I don't know, $500. But I don't think it's an artist-made puppy because it's moving slightly. It doesn't look
It looks like it's got
on a plastic frame.
No, it doesn't. It looks like it's got weight to it, and it looks like the way a puppy would handle if you were moving it yourself.
If you were moving it yourself, yes. So the person's sort of moving the puppy slightly with their right hand there.
And they clearly trying to move it in a way that looks robotic to me, I would say as well.
Yeah. And I know you're not keen on me mentioning this, so I'll only mention it really briefly. I think these puppies are unusually still, and I don't think they look very happy or comfortable. I'll just leave it there.
Okay.
So yes, I think what we've got there is a very still, real puppy that's been moved slightly by hand to try and make it look like it's robotic.
I agree.
So we're moving on to the next clip now. And before I say anything else, Paul, have you any idea why this is so blocky and blurred and poor quality?
Yeah, I think it's probably done purposely to blur the distinction between a real puppy and something that might be a plushy stroke robot.
Right. Yeah, I never thought about that, but I think you got a good point there, because there's got to be some reason, because like the rest of the what you can see is not so grainy and blocky. It's just the moving puppy.
I noticed they've got a teddy bear in the back as well to suggest
a toy.
A toy, yeah. These clips are quite skillful the way that they put together. They are trying to emotionally convince you, not rationally, but emotionally convince you that this is
a toy,
a robot dog.
Yeah, robot dog. So how do we know that this isn't a robot dog? It's moving too well, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Ibos. We've mentioned this in the last video. An Ibo costs $3,000 and it can't move like that.
Spot the dog, maybe. Boston Dynamics dog could move like that, but then again, that costs $70,000 plus.
And neither an Ibo or Boston Dynamics Spot the Dog looks like a real dog.
No, that's right.
And they're hard plastic.
Yeah.
As we're saying, you've got constraints in engineering to bring realism into movement, but still get it to basically work.
Yeah.
And then you're constrained with the proportions of the thing. So all that just screams to us, this is a real puppy. It cannot be a robot dog. Yeah. And then we've got this next clip. So this is interesting because of how similar it is to a clip that was in the rabbit advert here. So as we can see, we've got a guy with grey hair, a grey t-shirt and a grey overall over the front of the t-shirt, leaning over soft toys, doing something with them on a bench, and the background is blurred. That makes me think that this might be AI.
Ah, I see the scene you're referring to, yeah.
So I think that they've maybe had a prompt where they've said they want a guy with grey hair, a grey beard,
Caucasian, artisan.
Yeah, a grey t-shirt and a grey overall, sitting at a workbench. They want the background blurred. And they've put in that they want him to be making rabbits first, and then they've just changed
the text prompts
from rabbits to puppies, because it's like too much of a coincidence, isn't it? There's no other reason why the guy should have grey hair, grey beard, be wearing the same clothes with the same colours, both at the bench, blurred background. I'm sure it's been a text prompt and they've just substituted puppies for rabbits.
Yeah. I think you're right. It could be AI. And another thing that makes me think it might be here is that it's unnecessarily cluttered around the guy. I don't think any artisan would work with such clutter around them. But whether it's AI or not, it's given the impression that these things are handmade.
Oh yeah, I mean, as we discussed in the last video, there's just no way you would get something artist made and not pay hundreds of dollars for it, even when it hasn't got electronics. And then we've got this next bit that follows from this. I mean, what is that supposed to be? This is the weirdest bit, I think, in the whole advert.
It's just a few frames, isn't it?
Yeah. What is that?
Maybe they've just not edited the video well enough and left a few frames of something inappropriate in.
And what's this guy doing? He has what looks like a golf ball, poking something in the fluffy golf ball. And then you've got this really weird little sort of figure. It's just bizarre.
He appears to be winding it up. It doesn't help the case in making a false advertisement, that. So
now we're on to the next bit of the video where we've got absolutely beautiful little puppy and somebody's just holding
what appears to be some sort of USB lead with a light on. Presumably they're trying to indicate here that it's been charged up.
Which it's just, when you look at it in isolation, it's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
And as we said in the last video we made, they've had these dogs moving in a zillion different ways. This one's moving its head in that way. We've had them running forward. We've had them moving in all these different ways. How could you have one model with so many different kinds of movement in it? It's just impossible. And then we've got the next scene in the advert where a real puppy is being held, and this makes me feel very, very uncomfortable. It's being held rigidly round the neck. And now they're trying to make it look like it's not a real puppy by twisting its body around like that.
And presumably pressing the nose is trying to indicate that we're turning it on or off or something like that.
But to me, it's obvious that I mean, look at its eyes. You can see by the movements of its eyes, this is a real puppy.
It's slightly disturbing, that one.
Yeah. And then the next short clip, we've got, again, a real puppy. It's obviously a real puppy. And they're combing the fur on its belly just again to make it seem like something you would do with a toy. And again, the puppy is very, very still. They've obviously made it be like that to try and give the illusion. Here again, we've got a little running puppy. Again, there's just no way you will be able to get a robotic dog to move like this.
And I see they've taken some of the quality out of the image as well. It's a bit
Yeah,
blocky around the edges.
like they did with the other one. Yeah,
to disguise the fact that it's a
real dog.
Mm-hmm.
This bit here, where they've got 4 puppies, and they've got the person pointing like that, as if to try and suggest that you've got, these are the 4 styles you can choose
4 different
from.
models, collect them all, sort of thing.
Yeah. I think that's what they're trying to put into your head with the finger moving back and forth like that. And they've given them all these little bibs and put little bows in the hair again to try and disguise the real puppies. I've noticed as well, all these clips are really, really short. So they're working on almost on your subconscious, just to try and put these.
They don't want you to look at them too long.
Yes.
It's the sequence of clips together, which has the overall effect on your mind. Yeah.
And again, there's nothing in this video that would suggest to me that this is anything other than a little puppy, a real little puppy.
It looks like they're trying to convey that you can move it somehow with sort of gestures or something like that.
Yeah. And then this next bit, they're trimming it as if they're finishing off. So I think it's trying to put that into your mind that this is like somebody's hand making something and they're just trimming it to finish it off.
The final touch is by a skilled artisan.
Yeah.
Each one's unique.
Not quite sure why they've put this short clip in. Not really got much to say about that. Here is obviously a real puppy. And as we said before, this real puppy is moving in a different way to the other real puppies because it's a real puppy. How on earth could you get something that would move in these many, many different ways? It's just crazy. And then we've got another very tiny puppy, real puppy again, running along the floor. I think why they're doing this with the hand is to try and give some sort of illusion as if they're using a sensor to follow the hand.
Yeah.
And all these clips are really, really short to just trying and put these ideas into kind of your subconscious.
Yeah.
And that completes the ad. So, as we said in the previous video, you can't get robots that look like real animals like this. They don't exist yet. They don't even exist for people who are willing to pay thousands of dollars for them, let alone being sold as a toy for sort of $30 or whatever.
Is that what these are, about $30?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. They're just real puppies. It just consists of real puppies with what we think is a bit of AI thrown in there. Very short clips spliced together, trying to work on you to con you.
Yeah.
In the various ways in which we've discussed in this video.
Don't be conned, folks. These are not robot puppies, they're real puppies.